Kia ora, everyone. Welcome to the Unable Seaman podcast, the podcast designed to take a light-hearted look at all things boating and fishing in New Zealand. I'm your host, Jake Kerr, and once again joining me is my first mate, best mate, and newly elevated to co-host status, Christian Jensen.
Ooh, hello. I'm here again.
Yep, you're here again, unfortunately, but it's not just you this week. We've actually got a guest who we'll introduce in a moment. Before we get to that, just a little bit of admin. First of all, big apologies to everyone. There's been a big gap between our last podcast and this one. Christian and I have been pretty busy. It's actually taken a level 4 lockdown for us to be able to get together and actually have this chat.
Do it again, yeah. And your internet problems didn't help.
Yeah. It's
you
changing your internet company halfway through the lockdown is not such a clever move.
And also just before we're meant to be doing the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. I wish I could tell a lie and say it was a fishing yarn. However, I have got some good news which I'm going to pick up later in the podcast, but I won't keep our guest waiting any longer. Okay, so our guest this month has recently returned from a truly epic fishing trip off the east coast of the North Island, catching the fish of his dreams in a unique action-packed method. However, this isn't why we wanted him on. We wanted him on because, like us, it's obvious this young man loves the sea and his passion for it is infectious in his videos. It's also nice to have a real fisherman on the show after putting up with Christian for the last year. He is, of course, Flyn Jack from Flyn Jack Fishing. G'day, mate. How are you?
How are you? Yeah, all's good here.
Nice, bro. Nice. Thank you for joining us. It's been a long time coming, as mentioned. But you've been up to some epic missions, which we'll get to in a minute. But for those who may not have heard of you, give us a bit of a rundown of who you are and what you're all about.
Yeah. Well, Flyn Jack's my name. I live in Nelson, top of the South Island. I've been fishing since I was 2 years old. I'm 14 years old now, and fishing is my passion. That's really all there is to it. Every weekend, every spare chance I've got, I'm out fishing. Yeah.
So where's your local sort of fish? You said Nelson. Where's your local sort of fishing areas?
So my main fishing grounds is Derval Island. So that's on the outer Marlborough Sounds area.
Nice.
There's a particular spot there called Stephen's Passage, and Stephen's Passage is home to some of New Zealand's biggest kingfish. So you'll find me up there.
Nice.
Epic, man. Your dad must be stoked that you're so keen on fishing and going to stay away from girls and fast cars. You're just going to be, hooked up to big fish and be funneling all that money into petrol for your boat.
So we know that area, I wouldn't say reasonably well. Christian and I have been to Derval Island once, and people who listen to this podcast frequently know that our story of how we went there. So to Phil Flynn, and Christian bought a new boat. So he asked me to look at this boat in Auckland and said, mate, can you go have a look at it and tell me if it's all good? And I went and had a look at it, and this guy had just done it up. It looked really good.
Looks mean.
He bought it.
I'll send you a photo, Flynn.
So it's on our Instagram. And so we towed it down, and we thought the maiden voyage, let's do something special.
Hold up. Go back a step. He said to his missus that he's going to take her on a date weekend, right? And so he picked this boat up from Auckland to Hamilton, said to his missus he's going for a date weekend, and then swings past to pick up the boat, hooks it on the back, and drives from Hamilton all the way to Wellington to put it onto the ferry for me. Like, what a mate, hey?
What a mate. And unfortunately, you didn't repay the favour. You never have. But back to the story. So we got launched at French Pass, never been on this boat before, and went to Stephen's Passage. We also went to that place at the top end of Derval, where you jig. What's that place called? You guys help me out here.
No, that is Stephen's Passage.
It would be Stephen's Passage. That's
you're talking about French Pass, Jake.
Yeah, sorry, French Pass. Anyway, Flynn, we as we were coming back, the weather got up a little bit, and I noticed that the floor of Christian's boat and the hull were moving sort of independent of each other.
Yeah.
And
there was that crack that was like
big crack started to develop,
and then closing, and then opening and closing as we went over waves.
Yeah, and turns out the guy hadn't done a very good job of doing up this boat, and not only that, would put our life at risk for one undersized kingfish. So I'm keen to hear about your luck up there, because I've seen your videos. You obviously have plenty of opportunity to get up there and had heaps of success. Tell us
We
about
know
some of your most
something.
memorable catches at
Yeah.
Derval.
And can you just write down the GPS coordinates for me too?
Yeah. No, yeah, I've had some pretty memorable catches up there. I mean, I got my first kingy in French Pass, so that's always been-
actually in the French Pass itself.
yeah, that's right.
Cool.
The current there, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, epic.
Yeah, I mean, I've caught some very, very big snapper and some really big kings too up there. Probably one of my most memorable catches from Derval would be my PB snapper, 22 pounds. But what makes it even cooler was we're catching them in around 100 meters of water, which is just for snapper. That's like pretty crazy.
That's unreal.
Yeah, no, it's really cool.
That's so cool. We'll come back to that in a minute. What I want to talk about straight away, because it's on top of my mind, and I'm sure you're itching to tell us about it. For those that don't know, Flyn's just been on an epic mission, chasing bluefin tuna. Now, this is something that Christian and I know absolutely nothing about. So, Flyn, tell us about your latest mission and what happened there.
Yeah. Okay. So, my latest mission was out of Tauranga, so Bay of Plenty, and it was on a boat called Te Ariki Nui. So that's a big 58-foot salt house, I believe it was.
Ooh.
And I was out for a 48-hour trip. So we had 2 nights on the boat. And we were trolling up from Tauranga up to Waihau Bay. And every winter, the southern bluefin tuna, they come up from the bottom of New Zealand out of Fiordland, and they make their way up past East Cape. So the bluefin come within trailer boat distance to East Cape. So you'll find hundreds of boats out there every winter trying to get bluefin.
That's
But,
cool.
no, it's pretty special resource. But anyway, we were getting relatively late in the season, around end of July. So the fishing was starting to slow down a bit, and it was all heading north. So we trolled up to Waihau from Tauranga, so made a whole day out of that, and we managed to pick up a bluefin, a nice 70-kilo model, but that was trolling lures.
Which is the traditional way to catch them. So just excuse my ignorance here, Christian. I don't know much about this, and so that's the traditional way to catch them is trolling lures. Is that right?
Yeah. So trolling skirted lures is the main way to catch them. I mean, you're covering a lot of ground, and it's probably the most efficient way. But so we were trolling around in pretty sloppy conditions. It was pretty rough, but we picked one up, which was nice, right as the sun was starting to set.
Yeah,
So that was all good. Went into Waihau Bay, anchored up for the night, and had a good night out in Waihau, anchored up in the bay. And day 2 came around, trolling once again, but this time the sea was just flat as anything.
Ooh.
It literally glassed off. It was such a beautiful day, but no bluefin caught trolling. We couldn't seem to find them, so we trolled all day and into the night quite a bit. And it was such a flat night, so we decided we would sleep out in the middle of nowhere in 1,200 meters of water.
You didn't even obviously can't anchor. You just
no. So we were just bombing around in the middle of nowhere. We had a swordfish bait out just in case a swordfish was going to come along, but no joy there. But
wow.
Staying out that late at night and in the middle of nowhere, we had to have 2 people awake at any one time. So we were all on a roster, just looking out for ships and all of that carry on, and any obstacles. But that's besides the point. That night when we anchored up, we cooked up some dinner, had a few pizzas and all of that, and all just chilling out on the back of the boat.
Nice.
Having a good time. And the fish finder just completely blew up, with bait sign. So there were these big clouds of bait showing all on the sonar, and we couldn't identify it. We had no clue what it was. So
how deep? How deep is this bait?
Well, the bait was relatively close to the surface. It was within the top 200 meters of the water, so it was 200 meters right up to the top.
Yeah.
So yeah, we tried everything to identify it. We used squid jigs. So we flicked on our underwater lights just in case it might have been some squid, which would have been cool, but no squid. We tried using sabiki rigs, like the little flasher rigs you catch jack mackerel on and all of that carry on. Nope, nothing there again. And I had this big game reel, so it was a 30 wide reel, so that's rated to 30 pounds. So I mean that's what everyone's trolling with, those kind of reels. And I decided to put it on my jigging rod. Jigging's my favorite technique. Like I'll take jigging over anything else.
We're the same,
us too.
Love it.
Definitely.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, so I put a jig on, and I've got this great big reel with my rod, and it's a bit uncoordinated, but we got the technique down eventually. And so I decided to drop down a kingy jig, just out of interest. And
why not?
First drop, I got nothing. So I was like, okay, well, we'll keep trying. And I got a UV torch and shined it all over my jig. So my jig was like glowing really bright. And I dropped down, and all of a sudden I just hooked up. And it was so random, I couldn't process it. Like, I was hooked up to something pretty big in 1,200 meters of water.
And how far down were you? Like 100 meters?
Yeah. So I was only dropping down 100 meters. I mean,
you didn't have to worry about getting reefed.
Not even going to try drop down to 1,200. It's just non-existent.
Yeah.
I mean, I hooked up, and we got the fish to the boat quite early in the fight. So within 5 minutes, we had the fish boat side, and we were all joking about it being a bluefin, just like laughing about it and just joking. And it came to the boat, and we saw that it actually was a bluefin, and like everyone was just shocked because we were all just messing around. It's like, oh, it's a bluefin. No, it genuinely was a bluefin.
What did you think it was?
We thought it might have been an albacore tuna. So I mean, they're a lot smaller fish compared to a bluefin. I mean, average size is 15 kilos for an albacore.
Right.
But, I've caught albacore on jigs before, jigging for kingfish.
I've seen one of the videos that you had and you caught. What else did you catch on a jig that was odd?
Well, it probably would have been the albacore tuna, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But
epic.
Anyways, I got it up, and the fish just like went on this barreling run, and like bluefin are known for their screaming runs. Boom, like 200 meters just gone. And it was like, I was in a lot of pain because I had heavy drag on this fish, and it just kept running. I couldn't stop it. But the reel, it had like the harness clips, like the lugs to clip in a game fishing harness.
Yeah.
So I strapped into a harness, but at the start of the fight, I was just fighting it in my bare hip.
Yeah.
And I had by the end of it, I had this big purple bruise on my thigh.
I bet you did.
From the rod butt digging in. But I mean, I got in the harness and then just started to tick along. But the fight dragged out for about 45 minutes, and we had some pretty close moments to losing it. At one point, it went straight under the boat and popped up out the other side. And I was getting dragged around the deck, going all over the show. But we finally managed to turn its head and get it to a reasonable distance from the boat. And we got the flying gaffs out. So that's a gaff that's connected to a rope.
Yeah.
And when it's in the fish, the pole pops out, and then you're just connected to the fish with the rope.
Yeah.
So we got one of those in its back, but it wasn't in good. It could have easily gotten off the gaff, but we got a second gaff in it, and it was secured. We got the fish.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Man, what a
Now, what
story.
did that thing weigh?
it went 65 kilos.
Holy shit. That is incredible.
Yeah,
Man.
and what makes it even more special is we believe it's the first bluefin caught on a jig in New Zealand waters.
Wow. Congratulations, bro. That is a really cool thing to have against your name.
Yeah,
Ever.
Man.
I'm still fizzing over
Oh,
it.
I bet you are.
Even though I'm a few weeks on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I could see that in your video. So just to give your YouTube channel a bit of a plug there, it's at Flyn Fishing. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the one.
So it's there's a great video there about 10 or 12 minutes long, and you can just feel the emotion. That's what really impressed me about that video. And to be fair, has impressed me with all your videos is you've got a really good way on camera, and even just the way you tell that story. Then both of us are getting excited, and anyone should definitely check that out. That was
I got it on right now, eh? You're like,
Oh, very good.
you're like, oh yeah, tell me more. Tell me about this moment.
so
Yeah.
so that's your most recent catch is your 65 kilo southern bluefin, and it's
Yeah.
as you say potentially the first one in New Zealand. Take us back to where it all began. Now I understand you were born in France.
Yeah. No, I was actually. Yeah. So mum and dad, they're both from New Zealand, but they moved to France for a few years, and yeah, I was born in France. But by the age of 5, we full time moved to New Zealand.
Okay.
But we had always had a batch in the Marlborough Sounds. So
Nice.
every winter in France, we would come to New Zealand where it was summer, and we'd spend a few months of the year in New Zealand.
Tough gig, eh?
So,
Really tough.
Oh, how horrible.
So what's your first sort of fishing memory then, or where did the passion come from for you?
I've got quite a few very, very old fishing memories, like of when I was just beginning to walk, probably. But I think where it all kind of flared up is in Okiwi Bay, which is where our batch was. So that's on the edge of the Marlborough Sounds.
Yeah.
And I just remember fishing off the wharf there, catching gurnard and cod and all of that. Carwai too, yeah.
Gurnard off the wharf, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool, yeah.
And is your dad a Mad King fisherman, or your granddad, or like?
Or your mum, Christian. It's 2021.
Okay, yeah, good call. That's right.
Yeah, no,
That's what we've got. Yeah.
Dad's all over it. Dad loves it, but it really did the whole where we got fully addicted to it was probably 4 years ago. That's when it really started to kick off, and we were out there every other weekend.
Yeah, choice.
And so you mentioned before we went live that your first boat was a Huntsman Dorado.
Yeah, that's right.
And so that's obviously where your relationship with Huntsman boats started, and now you're a brand ambassador for Huntsman Boats. So tell us a little bit about that journey and how you sort of got in contact with that brand and with Jeff and Mike down at Huntsman Boats there.
Yeah, so I mean, all of our boats have been Huntsman's. Our first boat was, as you say, the Huntsman Dorado. So that was a 2003 Gen 1 Dorado.
Nice.
And yeah, I've got some fantastic memories on that boat. But yeah, we went through a bit of a dry patch where we sold that boat when I was about 5 years old, until I was probably 8 or 9. That's when we got a boat again. So big long dry patch of no fishing for a while.
I hope you had words of your dad about that.
I reckon.
Heck,
I would have been ringing Oranga Tamariki and been put up for an adoption.
What the heck is this? Man.
But,
well, Jake always told me, you only sell a boat to get another boat.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Hey, that's that wise words, man. And you remember that, when you're one day, got you some mukapunas and all that, you tell them that too.
Yeah, no, that's for sure.
So you've been a brand ambassador for a wee while now with Huntsman Boats, and you're also with Catch Fishing, is that right?
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
I'm with Catch Fishing too, so I'm on their pro team. So yeah.
So tell us a bit about that and what you like about their gear. Yeah.
I only say this because I got a mean catch jigging rod recently and love it. So this is cool. Into
Yeah.
CSB boats.
But
into
unlike your
fishing
one,
and catch.
Christian, Flynn actually catches fish on his.
Okay, yeah,
I
know,
think
that's a
Catch is
different
actually
story.
trying to like sort of distance themselves from you.
Yeah, I just support them financially and buy the gear, but actually never get out.
I think they'd rather you didn't. Yeah. Sorry, Flynn, you're halfway through saying something there, mate.
Yeah. So catch fishing has supported me for a long time now, probably 4 years, and I've used catch fishing for a long time, and it's catch is a product that I really enjoy fishing the gear. It's like fantastic quality. I've certainly put it to the ultimate test with some of the fish that I've caught on it. And yeah, the thing I really love about Catch is the lures. It's a completely 100% lure fishing company. So no
Nice.
more smelly pilchards or anything, none of the bait or anything. It's all metal lures. And I've found that my fishing has certainly improved with the introduction of all the lures.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Amen to
What's your
that.
favourite?
We're both jig fishermen as well.
Yep.
Christian tries to be.
Hey.
Christian's partner is still right into bait.
She
So every so often he
loves-
has to
Yeah,
play the game.
so my partner, she's mad keen fisherwoman and loves a good bait and burley session. You know, anchor up somewhere, 20 meters of water, pile up the burley, get the pillies out. Actually, even worse, she loves squid. And
No.
I know, but hey, we have a ball and we catch some fish and get a feed, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
So
that's it, eh?
So from the outside, you're a brand ambassador for Huntsman Boats. You got obviously tied up with catch fishing equipment and that. And from the outside, that looks fantastic. But what I want to know is there pressures that come with that? For example, do you still enjoy fishing sometimes? Is it really hard to get out there and you go, crikey, I need to make a video. I need to put up an Instagram post. I need to actually show that I'm using this gear. Does it take some of the enjoyment out of it, or how do you deal with that?
I honestly, there's nothing that could ever take the enjoyment out of fishing for me.
That's awesome.
Good answer, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy
day.
making videos too. I really enjoy that. I enjoy the aspect of sharing what I do. I really enjoy that.
Awesome.
And being out on the water and filming everything, getting photos, and then coming home that night and then looking over everything that happened that day.
Reliving it.
It all adds to it. I really love
Cool.
it. Oh, that's
so do
cool,
you do
bro.
the editing too?
Yeah, I do. Some of my homemade videos on the GoPros are edited by me.
Yeah.
But, all of the really professional videos, they're filmed by Scott McDonnell. He runs the New Zealand Fishing World page. So he's got that website, New Zealand Fishing World. So
Cool.
he's out fishing with us a lot, and yeah.
That's neat, man. That's awesome. Having these people around to learn from too, because I've been in the game for ages.
Yeah, exactly.
So come back to the catch thing. What's your favourite rod from them?
My favourite rod?
Yeah.
It's got to be the Acid Wrap 250 jigging rod. So that's that's my favourite. It's my favourite. It's an incredible rod. I've had that thing fully bent over the gunnel and going under the boat and everything, but it's a really nice rod to jig with. It's really forgiving. It's got a nice action to it, so it works the jigs really nicely, and it's just like full of power. Like you can put as much drag or as much pressure as you want, but that rod, it really copes with it. It's a fantastic bit of kit.
Awesome. Well, we'll just for people who are listening who might want to have a look at that rod, we'll put a link to our Instagram at Unable Seaman. I'm sure you could go to Flyn's Instagram as well at Flyn Jack Fishing. Is that right? I'm sure he's got links
Flyn
there
Jack
as well.
Fishing.
Yeah. So if you want to check those out. I want to move on back to your fishing spots. You've already spoken about D'Urville Island, and you said you've chased the bluefin off the east coast there. Where else in New Zealand have you been, or following up from that, where would you like to go?
I do a lot of fishing up in Hohora, so that's right up the top of the far north there.
Nice.
yeah, quite a lot of our trips that we've filmed have been up there. I mean, chasing marlin up there. We've soft baited up there, jig for kings. That's my second favourite place in the country to fish. Derby
I like
Island
that.
first, then it's Hohora. I love Hohora.
Yeah.
It's full of fish, and it's a really nice change of scene. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a long way from home for you, though.
Yeah, man.
It's like a 14-hour drive or something for us with the boat on the back.
Ooh, wow, that's punishing.
No, it's all part of it. It's all part of the adventure. All adds up.
Effort.
Yeah, that's right.
That's effort, man. So you just jump in, mum, dad, boom, off we go. Let's have a wicked week up there, I hope.
Yeah, no, 2 weeks even. Yeah.
2 weeks, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Every January, Dad and I, we plan a 2-week road trip. So we catch the midnight ferry across to Wellington, and then we drive up from Wellington up to Auckland, and then Auckland to Hohora. So every year we've got a January trip.
Nice.
And we're just in the phase of planning this January's trip, so that's pretty exciting.
Nice,
I bet it is. I bet it is. We know that area reasonably well. I'm a Bay of Islands boy. That's where I was brought up. And Christian was brought up in Rota Vegas, so sort of knows that area too. Just picking up on your January trip there, when I spoke to Mike from Huntsman Boats about something else a couple of weeks ago, he said that you have to keep your school grades up if you want to go on these fishing trips. So obviously you're not just a fisherman.
True.
Obviously you're pretty good in the old classroom as well. Now you may or may not know I'm actually a teacher, so I'm really pleased when I hear students doing good things in the classroom and then obviously getting that reward of being able to go fishing on the side.
No, I'm always trying my hardest in school, always keeping my grades up, and it all pays off because it means I get to go fishing
too, right?
that's mate, if you want incentive, that's about as good as it gets.
Exactly.
Especially for lads like us, eh? Ooh.
Yeah.
So Flynn, I'm just going to move to Christian for a little bit. So Christian, just quickly, we sort of skipped at the start. I want to hear what you've been up to, mate. What have you been doing recently? Nothing nearly as exciting. I can tell straight away.
Mate, I'm shocking. I haven't been out for a fish since we last caught up.
Have you done anything with your boat? I mean, it is the middle of winter. I'll give you that.
Middle of winter. I'm real sorry, mate. I've been building a fence. All the dumb things.
You were doing that last time we chat.
Yeah, I'm not a good builder. So it takes a while.
Well, do you know what? I actually don't care what you've been up to, Christian, because I was only using that as a way to crowbar what I've been up to.
Oh yeah.
Like Flynn, I am also a massive fan of Huntsman Boats, and so my private boat was a Bayliner. I've documented that before. My parents have had a Huntsman Series 6000, which we've loved for the last, I'm going to say, almost 12 years now.
I remember when you got
boat.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe not quite. I can't remember.
Have
anyway,
you been friends for that long?
We have. Unfortunately, I haven't got a better offer.
Okay, that's cool. I'll stay.
But in the last month, they've bought a Centurion, the soft top version of the Centurion with a Mercury 200 XS Pro on the back.
And what is that? Is that a big V8?
That's a 4.6 litre V8, 200 horsepower engine. Now, the reason I brought it up is obviously this is a boating podcast, so of course I'm going to bring it up. But the other thing, Christian, is, and I'm sure Flynn has experienced this before, but I really want to get this across to the listeners, is you watch these videos on boats, right? These boat reviews and stuff. And you hear people talk about, oh yeah, the ride's softer and this fun because we've done this, that, and the other. And you think, okay, I'm never really gonna find that. It's a bit like watching Top Gear, watching Jeremy Clarkson go around in a Lamborghini, and you don't really know if he's telling the truth or not. Okay, as mentioned, we've had the 6000 for however many years, so I know that boat reasonably well, and know all its ins and outs. Taken it out in all sorts of conditions.
You can compare it against a Bayliner.
Well, yeah, there's not much comparison there. It's a little bit like jumping from a milk bottle to
a
cruise ship.
Can't talk. I certainly can't talk.
So we picked up the Centurion a couple of weeks ago, and it was a crappy day in Auckland. So my parents came down from the Bay of Islands to collect it, and I came up from Te Awamutu here, and the weather was blowing 20 knots, And
Ooh.
we said, no, we're going. So there's 8 of us. We jumped on it and we shot out from Half Moon Bay, went to a place called Izzy Bay, and just to have a little play. Now, first of all, the engine. Oh, people say 4 strokes don't have the whole shot, what a load of crap. This thing's got a 4-bladed propeller. There was 8 of us on board, and I just accelerated in the same way I would accelerate with the E-Tech on the Series 6000. This thing was like being dropped. We almost ended up all in the back. I couldn't believe the way this thing went, and I wish I could portray that somehow to the people listening. It just went. I cannot wait till there's just 2 of us in it. And not only that, Christian, it just had this sound. If you haven't had a chance, anyone listening, get on YouTube, type in Mercury XS Pro, and listen to the sound this engine makes. Oh, it'll just get your blood pumping.
Mate, any V8 on a boat is beautiful, and I totally support that.
And yet, if I was buying a new boat, I probably would have spec'd a Honda, but I don't know now. But anyway, I don't know. Controversial. But that's not the point I wanted to make. The point I wanted to make is coming back. It was blowing about 20 knots. There's 8 of us on. I put the hammer down to about 17 knots, and I have never been so steady on a boat before. This was a pretty nasty day. Anyone who knows the Waiheke Channel knows it. It blows up a bit. This thing was just rock solid. And again, like I said earlier, you hear manufacturers talk about their boats in the rough, and their one's better than the others. This thing, from the 6000 to this, was chalk and cheese, and the 6000's a bloody good boat.
Man, we've been out in that 6000 in some rubbish days and been really impressed. Really impressed. And you're saying it's even better again.
I couldn't believe it. Flynn, you've spent a bit of time in the Centurion, mate. Do you mind do you have any experiences that sort of similar to my one there? Or?
Yeah, I do. I got quite a few, really. We had when we got our Marlin on the Centurion, it was glass off, and then that wind just wrapped round the corner, and those waves started to stand up. But we just put the hammer down, put the trim tabs down, and just pushed straight through it. And it's such a fantastic boat. It's so hard to explain the feeling and the comfort that you feel.
Yeah.
But it just eats up chop. It just
absolutely. That sounds like so much better than what.
Put it this way. I agree with Flynn. You can't portray it. The all I would say is that if you're thinking of buying a boat, get in contact with me or get in contact with someone who owns one and go and experience it. It is so worth it. And there is such a difference between a boat that can handle that and a boat that can't. We've talked about other manufacturers on this podcast before, and I don't want to sort of dredge it up again, but there is ones who can really handle it, and there is ones that's not so much. What about
the Haviland that I took you out on that time?
Well, that was Christian's old boat. I wouldn't have taken that off the trailer, let alone gone in the chop.
So, Flynn, I had an old tinny, 4-metre tinny, and it didn't have any seats. So, Jake, we were fishing in Coromandel, in Waiona Bay, and so Jake's sitting on a bucket that we've turned upside down.
Oh, no.
And we're bashing along with this chop, and it's like a bumpy, crappy ride, and this thing should not be allowed on the water. This is my first boat. And we had lots of fun in it, but went over a bump and it cracked, and Jake's desk got caught in the crack. And you were fuming.
It was not.
Yeah, it's gold. It's gold.
Certainly didn't do anything for my opinions on de Havilland boats. But yeah, so that's been the excitement from us for the last month or so, and then of course we've been thrown into lockdown, so haven't been able to use it since. But a couple of really cool design features in that Centurion, and I'm actually looking forward to doing a video. So we've still got the 6000; it's for sale. If anyone wants to buy it, please reach out. But I want to get the two together and take them out back to back, because on the face of it, there isn't much difference. If you just looked at them parked side by side, you go, oh yeah, there's a couple of things, but it's not till you really sort of sink your teeth into it that you can see some real improvements they've made. And so I thought I'd do a video on that at some point. Probably
cool,
the
man.
big one for me is that they've got rid of that walk around and they've blown out the deck, I suppose, and it gives you
Shoulders,
heaps more room.
Yeah, it does. Especially in the hardtop model, it's very spacious, very spacious.
Yeah,
That's
we
cool.
we haven't had a go in the hardtop yet, but I can only assume that it's is good. And it makes me actually wonder because Flynn, I don't know if you've heard some of our other podcasts, but Christian and I always talk about the Excalibur. That's our favourite boat that Huntsville makes.
Mate.
Neither of us have been on one, but
No,
we just think
I've been on
that
one
is sexy. Hey,
It's a pretty wicked looking boat,
Oh.
especially with the inboard and then the transom off the back.
Yeah, we like if we won lotto or something, that would be our boat. In fact, what did it win in our? We had a little sort of competition a while ago, and what did it win? It was our best 6-meter trailer boat that we.
I think it
decided.
was. We rated it big time.
And the prestigious Unable Seaman Boat Awards, you know,
yeah.
which all three people.
And everyone listens to us, and everyone cares about what we think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so,
perfect, man.
Coming back to you now, Flynn. Now that I've had my moment in the sun,
All good.
what are your sort of aspirations for moving forward? You've obviously got a YouTube channel. You've got a pretty good social media following. You know, what's in the pipeline, and where's the end goal for you? Yeah.
What is the end goal? I think I've always been at the back of my head has been a TV show. I think that'd be pretty cool. But I really don't know. At the moment, I'm just taking it as it comes and just enjoying every moment of it and just seeing what way it takes me. Really, that's where I'm at.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
and in terms of any international fish, I know one of your videos you mentioned you want to catch species overseas. Obviously, the sort of environment we're in now, it's not going to be around the corner. But what would you like to catch overseas?
I would really like to catch a dogtooth tuna.
Wow.
On a jig, of course.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they're known as probably one of the hardest fighting fish in the ocean. I mean, they reach crazy big sizes. I think that would be pretty cool. Would be a dogtooth.
Any GT or anything like that? On the dog top water set?
There's always the GT. I'd love to get a GT. I'd like to get them on top water with stick baits and poppers and all of that. But I think my dream destination would be Tanzania.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I've never heard of that as a fishing ground.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty incredible place. I mean, they get yellowfin tuna, I mean, GTs, they get the doggies too. They get the whole lot there, really. And it's in the middle of nowhere, but I would really love to do a big couple weeks there.
That'd be cool.
Couple of months.
Yeah, couple of months even.
Couple of months. Man, imagine if you could tick off the yellowfin, the GT, and the doggy on a big trip like that. That'd just
that would be incredible.
Christian, do you even know what those are? This is the man who struggles to catch a legal snapper. Look at you there folding your arms, but I'm a fisherman. I'm one of the boys having a chat. You haven't even been fishing since last time we spoke.
Flynn, can you just have some sympathy on me and just take me out fishing, man, and just remind me what it is to get out there?
Yeah, sure. I'm sure we'll sort something out.
Oh, you'd be wasting your time, Flynn. You'd be good for making the sandwiches, and that's about it.
Oh, come on. I'm heading on a fishing trip in, when is it? I think it's October. Whenever Canterbury anniversary is. And we're going to Durban. So taking my little sea nymph over there. I haven't invited Jake because he's a rubbish fisherman. I don't want to bring down the crew.
You actually haven't invited me. I'm a bit hurt, bro. When's this trip happening?
Canterbury anniversary.
When's that? I don't live in Canterbury. When's that?
I don't even know. It's October or November.
Okay. Like I'm excited for that. And yes, I am coming. I'm formally inviting myself.
Coming. So, Flynn, I've been a couple of times. Took Jake once and then went another time with some old uni mates. We've been in winter every time. And it's pretty fun. Caught heaps of blue cod and one pretty big snapper in like you say, 100 meters of water off Stevens. But everyone keeps telling us to go, go in November, go then, blah blah blah. We're like, okay, give it a crack, earlier in summer and see what it's like. What do you reckon?
I reckon winter's the one. Winter is the one. Yeah. So in summer, the big snapper, they move into Tasman Bay. So they're in like 20 meters of water, sort of, all the big ones.
Yeah.
The kingies will stay up there. But I think the beauty of winter is the kingies are there and the snapper are there. That's why I love the winter fishing at Derville.
I reckon we've had our eyes closed, Jake, when we go there.
We went there in the middle of winter. It was June.
It was a beautiful day.
It was a beautiful day. The only way I could stay warm was Christian had this little gas cooker on board that we were cooking our lunch with. I had to squat over it. It was the only way I could stay warm.
That's right.
Boy from Northland, I struggled a wee bit.
Yeah, man. Oh, all right.
So, sort of equally.
So we've already spoken about your online presence and your channel and that. Do you get any hate? Is hate something you have to deal with? I know. So Christian and I know Mig from Fishing and Adventure reasonably well. And he's spoken to us about it's sometimes really hard. You put a really cool show together and you put a lot of effort into it and that, and people have a bit of a crack at you. Do you find that online at all?
I just surround myself with the right people and people that support me and just keep my head up and just keep moving forward. Every now and again something happens, but you just look past it and just,
whatever. That's cool, man. That's a good way to look at it, eh?
It's a really mature attitude to have about it, and it's certainly something a lot of people could take on board, that's for sure.
I suppose you can just say, hey, I got me a big yellowfin tuna and a big bluefin tuna. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's right. Who are you? There's a lot of keyboard warriors out there, that's for sure. The beauty with having New Zealand's most unpopular boating and fishing podcast is that we don't get a lot of hate. We don't get a lot of love either, but
we don't get a lot of hate.
Flynn, bit of a tricky one for you. I know you're tied up with Huntsman boats. If you couldn't have a Huntsman, if let's say Huntsman went out of business, I know they're not because they got orders coming out their ears, but let's say they went out of business and you had to pick another boat, or even better question is, what's your dream boat that can't be a Huntsman?
Yeah,
that's mean.
I've always got the dream of like a 58-foot Viking or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool to have a big launch or something.
I'll note that down, and we will put that on our
definitely put that up
on our Naval Seaman Instagram channel. Viking, what do you say? Viking 58. Okay.
Yeah, 58 Viking. Oh, the name escapes me. But yeah, it's a 58-foot Viking.
Okay.
That's
nice.
That's pretty mean. Well,
okay, you've given it some thought.
That big. Yeah, I
mean, of course you've given it some thought. You're a boatie, we've all got our dream boat.
Yeah. I'd love a big launch like that. That'd be pretty special.
Nice.
Drifting around like you said when you're going for that bluefin tuna and you're just in the middle of the night drifting around the ocean. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah. No, it was pretty cool just bombing out at sea.
That's choice.
I bet. Righto, we're going to come to our one of our favourite features of the month, yes. and something that Christian always gets barred up about, and we've actually got Flynn on board for this one as well, and that's, of course, our dog of the month. Now, for those who don't know behind the scenes, what we do is we get a dog of the month, and Christian and I normally present it to each other, and we always try and present it live so that we get a genuine reaction. So, what I will do is I'll go first while Flynn and Christian, if you want to upload your links to our little Facebook chat we've got going on, and I will get mine in first because mine is...
Okay, don't do it just yet. I'm just pulling mine up right now. So
if yours is there, then we'll get started on that.
No, you go. I'm just finding one. Oh, this is good. I love this part.
Yeah, this is Christian's favourite feature. This is actually the only prep he does for the show. It'd be really nice if we had someone who's, a little bit more professional, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. Rightio, my one's there. Let me know when you got it in front of you, and I'm going to give you the rundown as to why this is my dog.
Oh
God.
no.
What sort of rubbish is this? Oh, Jake.
Okay,
Well,
so
this is
it's
certainly a launch. It's
it's
certainly a launch.
the first thing I think is Pirates of the Caribbean come sort of like Canadian canoe.
It's on a trailer. That's
it's on a
better
trailer.
thing.
It's a trailer boat. It's a 28-foot. What do they even know? They call it fishing dory. $8,000. It can be yours.
God.
That trailer looks like it might struggle at the vehicle testing station. Imagine trying to
Engine looks
launch that
fine.
thing.
I think the only respectable thing about that is it's probably made of wood, so it could be kind of considered eco-friendly.
Yeah, you could break it down and use it to start your fire.
I was thinking that.
Engine. Yeah, no, the engine looks alright.
What's the engine? I haven't got to that photo yet.
It looks alright there.
Yeah, they've cleaned it. I mean,
Pretty
there's
tidy.
some pretty major corrosion on one of those bits there, but
That thing looks like it's come out. It's a steam engine.
I think they brought it back from the Titanic.
Oh man, that is hideous.
So we've certainly had worse on this podcast, but I think what amazed me about that is someone thought that was trailerable.
I think that's fantastic. Isn't that great?
I imagine trying to launch that though.
I just think that's so cool that someone's got the confidence to try and launch that. You need I don't know. That's epic.
I don't know what you do with it, but it's that was my dog of the month. Righto, who's got their next one loaded up?
Okay, are you going first, Flynn?
Yeah, I've got mine already. So
Okay, I'm coming in. Have you
Bang it
uploaded
in.
it to the little chat? Send them to the chat. I'm
right,
waiting for it to come up.
ending.
Pending, I like that.
Oh, homemade danger ship. Wow, that's a cool name straight off.
I dig the name.
And that is the end of
Homemade
coolness.
danger ship.
What the? This is someone's living room.
Yeah, no, I think what I found quite fantastic about it is in one of the photos there you'll see that it's actually got twin engines, and if you look a bit closer it looks like one of them's a Merc and the other one's a Honda.
Oh, very popular to do that now. You know, you have your two different outboard brands.
It's suitable for us because we're conflicting in terms of like what brands we like.
He's got. Have you seen the bottom of it? It's a flat bottom.
Yeah, but you can go wakeboarding.
No, but have you seen what the guy's using for a GoPro pole? It's a stick.
That's fantastic.
This is great, Flynn. Oh wow!
It's got a decent weight too.
Christian likes it.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, no, sure.
That's cool. I wouldn't want to have it for myself because I'd be worried that I'd end up dying in it. But
imagine how it handles. Imagine it catching the edge on one of those plywood sides there.
Oh, there's worse things to worry about in life, Jake.
Oh,
I don't know if you've seen, but it's got hydrofoils. Those like trim.
Yeah, I think that is
the
least of its worries.
And they're made of plywood.
And the two different engines. That is bizarre.
I like the barbecue.
So of course, just for those listening, you remember you can see these at our Instagram, Enable Seaman. Flynn has entered an absolute beauty here. Homemade danger. Wow, that lady on board looks like she's wrapped to be there as well.
It weighs around 1.5 ton.
The guy's tipped it over on his farm too. It's like he had a garden shed, and then thought, I know what
engine hours on it.
Top speed, 66 kilometers an hour. This is insane.
909. Is that nine? How many nines is that? Yeah,
99,999 hours. I'm going to guess and say it's probably a few less hours than that. It's a 115 Johnson and a 90.
Probably out of warranty.
It's a 115 and 90 horsepower. Hey, it doesn't matter that they come. That's
22 sheets of 12 mil ply. That's what it's made out of, and it weighs in around the 1.5 ton mark.
That's fantastic.
It's a passenger liner, not a day boat.
Hey, but it's got a wake pole. That's cool.
Oh, bro, you have outdone yourself there. I love the recliner chairs too. That's something I might actually, submit to Huntsman in the next Centurion. A couple of lounges.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that gets the job done.
I'm sure it does. Rightio, Christian, give us your one, mate.
I want to ask you, do you guys want an alloy boat? or a wooden boat,
Ooh.
or a fiberglass boat?
Oh,
I've
you've
got
got
all three.
You got three. You've covered the bases. Well, we've had two wooden boats, so let's rule out the wooden boat. Let's go alloy.
Yeah, I
Okay.
reckon
Do you want something suitable for the south coast of Wellington into the Cook Strait, or do you want something that you're guaranteed to die on?
Guaranteed to die on.
Guaranteed to die
Okay,
on,
here we go. This is beautiful then. This is beautiful. I'm just bringing it up and then sharing it across. Here we go. Ba-bam, ba-bam, bam, 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 bam. So, my friends, what you have before you is a home brew.
A homebrew.
Oh no.
Now,
This is a hard top, and it's I don't know what it was.
I'm struggling here because the hull is a legit hull,
Well, yep.
but then he's put like
A
you know how
box.
you know how old people have those things when you go into their house and it's like I think it's called an observatory where they keep like plants and birds.
A sunroom.
Yeah, a sunroom. I think they've plonked a sunroom on top of a boat that shouldn't be a hardtop.
Yeah, fantastic.
I'm really confused by that, and it's running a. Oh no, that's an auxiliary. I was going to say that's another twin engine setup.
Yeah. But hey, isn't that hardtop like it's got a lot of headroom? That's a positive.
Yeah, if you're looking for positives, it's got a trailer.
It's got a trailer. I don't know if there's, I assume it floats.
Give us
Depends
another one,
on
bro.
holders.
Do you know what? I'm actually going to come out of the, and I'm going to come out in support of this guy. He's got a decent hull. He's got plenty of fishing room at the back. He's taken time to make that fishing board. That's a homemade cutting board thing at the back. He's got a safety ring on the top. He just never took a step back and looked at it. Yeah. A few aesthetics, and he could be the next Ramco.
You want another one?
Give us another one quickly, bro. I think you can do
Okay.
better than that.
Okay. I got one you'll love. You'll love this one, Jake. You'll love this one because you'll have a bit of a dig at me about this one.
So just a reminder too, I know I've said it before, but you can find all of these at Unable Seaman. Christian really has a bit of a knack for finding these, and that's why I'm going hard and making him pick another one. I'm actually a little bit dubious that some of these are actually on his watch list.
They are on my watch list.
I think
You'll love this one, Jake. You'll love this one.
I think you're going to buy. Hey, did you make an offer on that one from last month, by the way?
Yeah, I did. He told me to piss off. I think I offered him like $8 or something.
Yeah. No, Sea Nymph Gullwing. No, they're not a dog.
No, I'm winding you up. I'm winding up. I just saw this and I thought, oh, I actually like this.
That's a beautiful little boat.
Flynn, this is actually the boat that I've got. Well, it's very similar
It's not too bad, is it?
Nah. It's actually not a dog. But
This one's obviously owned by someone who looks after it, though. Unlike Christian. Yeah.
And what it's got a couple of pros here. It's got the double T-bar on the front, so you can have two anchors tied up at once. I don't know what they actually call it.
Oh, are you worried about losing it? I wouldn't be that worried about it.
Hey, we just agreed that it wasn't a dog. What else has it got? It's got a nice Honda on the back, 80 horsepower.
This is a good little boat. This is your boat. You can't just bring your own boat in as dog of the month. We already know it's crap.
Oh, ouch. Settle down. Don't be so harsh. I actually rate this boat. I think it's awesome. I was just wanting to
14.5 grand.
Okay, what does want a bit much for it?
Oh, that's a hell of a lot. Anyway, bro, obviously you don't have anything ripping, we can rip on this month, which is surprising for you, although I think Flynn took the cake with that homemade danger ship.
I think I might have, yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That is just truly awful. It really is.
That's fantastic.
It really is.
I think it was awesome.
Anyway, bro, we better wrap this up. First of all, I want to say a big thanks to Flynn for coming on. I know it's been a bit of a process getting you on here with all of us pulling the pin for various reasons and life getting in the way of life. But I really do appreciate you coming on and all the best with your channel in the future, and and hopefully we can keep in contact and maybe get alongside each other one day and Chase, you can teach us a few things about how to catch southern bluefin tuna.
Oh,
yeah, no, that sounds like a plan.
Might even meet you up at Stevens.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
But yeah, mate. Once again, thanks for coming on, and all the best. Just give your social medias a bit of a plug there, mate.
Yeah. Oh well, my YouTube is Flynjack Fishing. Same with Facebook, Flynjack Fishing, and Instagram is Flynjack Fishing too. So yeah, check them out. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, you guys. I've really enjoyed it. It's been a good laugh.
I'm pleased you enjoyed it. I apologize profusely for Christian.
Oh.
and you, bro. We'll do this again in the next month. Hopefully you've been fishing. You need to go out fishing, man. Do you understand when you host a boating and fishing podcast, it really helps if you sort of bring something more to the table than.
I'm just bringing, the real world to this show, and I show the enthusiasm.
Just quickly for the people, because we obviously put this podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, but we also put it on YouTube. Just for the YouTube viewers, who are the people behind you on the wall there? Is it your old koro or something? For those that can't see, Christian's got a couple of random pictures of some ancient Māori people on the wall.
These are actually Goldie prints.
What does that mean?
He's a famous New Zealand artist.
Oh, okay. It shows how cultured I am. Anyway, the fact we're talking about art means we have nothing more to talk about.
And I'm actually getting called in for dinner, so rock and roll.
Well, there we go. You better go, otherwise you get cancelled. Hey, once again, all our listeners, thanks again for tuning in. Make sure you're reaching out to us. It's been really cool to hear from some of you. I hope you're enjoying it, and I hope level 4 lockdown doesn't last too long so we can all get out on the water soon. We will see you again next month. Adios.
See you.